If you're wondering what an obstructed ocean view cabin on Carnival Encounter is like, stick with us, we're going to take you round 8407 on deck 8.
Hi, we are Rob and Ali, sharing with you our passion of all things cruise and travel. I have my little gold card here to get in room 8407. Although the ensuite and the wardrobe is here first when you walk in, actually you can see the main room from here. So we're going to take you in here first. This gives you a sense of what greets you when you first walk into this room. Because it is an ocean view, you've got this big window at the bottom, and it gives the room this feeling of kind of airiness and space and brightness. So it's really attractive when you walk into it. There's a lot of space at the end towards the window as well because of the bed configuration. It means the wardrobe, the dressing table and the fridge are at that far end with a chair, and there's a little table in the corner there. So it gives the feeling of a lot of space in here. Also at this configuration means that you have quite a big space either side of the bed to get down. There's your bedside cabinet on either side, but also at the bottom here. So it means that you don't have to walk past each other all the time, trying to maneuver around each other. We quite like this configuration. It is an obstructed view, so we'll just show you what the obstructed view is. We choose this because it's a bit of a compromise between kind of paying for an interior cabin, which is obviously the cheapest of the cabins, and getting an ocean view. So you get it at a bit of a discount from the normal unobstructed ocean view. And for a 3-dayer, it kind of just helps with the budget a little bit. It does have this double curtains here, and we have found that in the daytime, if you close those and you want to get changed or whatever, you do have a bit of privacy if you do have any of the crew walking past. They don't walk past, it's not an open kind of walkway, but occasionally they will be doing maintenance there, but not very often.
The walkway is actually a little bit down. Whilst we were in here, they were doing some painting. You see the walkway down there. It's actually a little bit further down than it looks there, and there was some guys walking past. Their heads did not come up to the window level. They had long brushes and they were painting this structure up here. So although there's a potential for people seeing in, they'd have to really make an effort to do that.
So the dressing table kind of area here, because you've got the bedside table here, although there's not a lot of room on there because of the lamp, we did find this worked for us to be able to put all our computer junk and all our, it's got the socket points here, 2 Australian ones. And then these US?
Yes, US.
Yeah,
2 110 volt US.
So you can use those if you've got your adapters. We use those as well, but it means we've got everything that we need to charge your phones, your watches, all that kind of stuff, as well as the computers can go on here. You have the hairdryer here as well. It is one of those old-fashioned ones that basically is just to dry your hair off. You won't get a lot of styling with this. And it is quite noisy. But does the job. And I'm not even going to attempt to start wiring that up. It does have the phone here. This is pre-programmed for you. Unlike some of the other cabins that we've been in that didn't work, I think we've only ever been in 2 where this didn't actually work. This one worked perfectly fine, and it's great if you want to have room service, if you want housekeeping, if you want extra towels or an ice bucket or something like that. And guest services, it's fabulous for guest services. Don't wait in the queues if it's something that you can get sorted out on the phone. If you've got a complaint about something or a query, use this. It's really good. It'll save you all that queuing. They leave out this little QR directory. So the The good things about this is it'll give you the VIP benefits here, it'll give you any health advice, the spa menu and any food allergy kind of information there. So you just scan those on your QR codes, gives you that extra little bit of information. So these chairs, when you turn these round like that, and then you've got this table here, you can see you've got plenty of room to then move that table out, have your drinks, have your little snacks or whatever. If you want your midnight pizzas or burgers or things like that, again, it's a great little table and set up to be able to do that here with plenty of space. We found even just getting ready, having a little drinky in the room while we're getting ready. One of the things they've got on here is, this is your refrigerator. It does say here, this is not a refrigerator, it is a cooler. It won't obviously freeze anything, but it did keep things surprisingly cold. I have medication that I need to keep at a certain temperature, and it did keep it at that refrigerated temperature, nice and cool. They don't have any drinks or anything stocked in there like they do in other mini bars. This is just for your use only. As you are allowed to bring on 12 cans each, plus a bottle of wine, this comes in really handy for your own cans of drinks.
Yeah, that's non-alcoholic drinks. Cans of non-alcoholic drinks, not the you can't bring beers on.
No, and but you can put your wine in there, and then you can also ask for an ice bucket as well if you wanted to. One of our little tips is to keep this door open. If you want to keep your fridge even cooler, make it more efficient.
It really does work.
It really does, because that lets the air circulate inside, and obviously then the fridge can work easier. This little area on top here, they do provide this water. This is at a cost. Depending on your status, you might get this included. I've been upgraded to gold class, which means we get, is it a bottle each?
Yes.
Bottle each of this a day, otherwise it's $6.50.
Oh, it's not a day, it's throughout the whole cruise.
Oh, so it's $6.50, and if you use that, you'll be charged obviously for it, but they will just keep restocking it for you. But there is water available throughout the ship in big iced containers. It's constantly replenished with little glasses at all of the bars of the stations. So it's really only if you want your bottled water that you need to break into that. Beautiful big telly. That does swivel. I'm not going to do it now, but it does do a bit of a swivel. Remote control, of course, so you can control this from the bed, and I have to say it is so big and so well placed that you can both enjoy watching the TV from your bed. It does have it was 3 channels of movies. They rotate so that they repeat. I think it's about 4 movies a day over a 24-hour period on each of those channels, and they run, I think it's every 2 or 3 hours that they run between them. So you can normally find something, as well as news channels and a view of the bridge. Not very much more complicated than that on these particular TVs on the setup, but enough just if you just want to get a few movies in or just catch up on the news. We found this cabin to be really well lit. We liked the lighting configuration in this. You can control the different lights from the bed. You've got a set of switches there, and there's one behind the light bed here. So we found it bright enough for when we wanted to get ready, and then we could control which ones we wanted to turn off and kind of give it that evening, softer lighting. While I'm just by the sides of the beds, they do have a USB port on either side of the bed. In this particular cabin, both are working. We have had some where they've kind of fallen through. They're a little bit delicate, but they're both working here, although they do have like a slow charge. So we found that if you put them on overnight, everything was charged the next day, but don't expect to come in and have it recharged on super fast if you've come in for the day and you want it for the evening. Bring your battery packs. You will need them because you'll be using the app all the time, and photographs and things, they do kind of run down really quickly.
Probably should point out that these are actually USB-A not USB-C. There's no USB-C sockets in this cabin. I know a lot of appliances nowadays do use USB-C, but you'll need an adapter for that.
So in total, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, just trying to add up, there are 8 drawers in this main bedroom area. This is really good on the top here, just to add any more of your your junk. We find this useful for things like your sunglasses and those kind of things, those smaller items that you want to you don't need a socket for. That was good there. So we found there was plenty of storage space. Let me take you to the wardrobe bit.
We will, but before we do, you also get these little door hangers for snooze and wake up. So if you want your cabin attendant to leave you alone, you put the snoozing one on the outside of the door. And of course, when you're ready for it to be made up, you put the makeup one. And they have the towels in the room.
Oh, yes. Take me out, son needed. So we must point out, you do not leave your towels around the pool area. You will be asked to pay for them if you do that. So want to note, particularly if you've got children, because as we know, it's wherever they drop them, that's where they'll land and that's where they'll stay. So it's important to bring those in with you. And your cabin attendant will change those out for nice dry ones if you need to.
They are nice. Just open one up quickly while we're here.
They are actually. This is yeah, they're nice and soft. These are obviously all new because it's only just been carnivalized. So yeah, they are nice and absorbent, and a nice big size to actually cover the whole of the bed. There we go.
Okay.
Can I get them as beautifully folded as you did? No. When you come in, you will get this, you'll see the unpack and choose fun little cover here. This is great. This is on the bed, obviously, to protect all your covers. But, you know, whip it out if you're going to have your pizza in bed. It'll save getting all the covers dirty. And then just kind of throw it on the floor when you've finished. I'll take you through to the wardrobe area. It does have this terribly annoying light, which I think we've spoken about before. But this stays on for what feels like just a few seconds. And when you're checking what's in the wardrobe, it seems to go out all the time. So you have to do this. You have to get used to doing this and waving your arms. So this it's quite high up here, but this is useful for obviously your bigger items. We always recommend bringing your magnets. So the magnets will stick to the walls because the walls are all metal. So for things like hats, bags, lanyards, all that kind of stuff, hang those on the wall rather than putting your hats up here. Any item that's going to start sliding around, avoid putting them up here, because what tends to happen is if the ship has a little bit of a wobble, they fall to the back, and unless you're kind of 6 foot tall, you can't find them and you'll lose stuff at the back there. They do have the life jackets up here, just tucked away. Yeah, they just stay there, hopefully, for the whole duration of your stay. Always plenty of hangers, and these are great because these are the hangers that will come off and not like some of the hotel ones that are secured to the rail. They will bring you more hangers if you need, but there's always plenty here, and they're the ones with the little notches in as well that you can use the little tags on your clothes to hang up so they don't come off. And we have found this is great because obviously you can have all your junk in here, all your bags, all the shoes can just be thrown on the floor, and it's all out of sight from your main bedroom. So your bedroom always feels a lot tidier than what it is in other cabins when the wardrobe is part of your room. I don't know, I just always feel it feels a bit more cluttered. This is a great configuration for that, and all the bags and everything can go on the floor as well.
Actually, what we forgot to mention in the main cabin is that there is plenty of room under the beds here in this one. Sometimes there are other beds if it's got those beds that go on top of each other, bunk bed style, but on here they're unobstructed. We found that there was plenty of room for our 83 centimetre cases.
Yeah, so the big cases just go underneath as well. They've got the laundry bag and laundry facilities here if you want things laundered and ironed, but there is a laundry service on every floor where there are cabins, and that is free to use for ironing, and then you pay to use it for a wash and a dry. Got kids or whatever, or you need to dry your bathers off. There's a light going. It's great. You just get the tokens from guest services at a small charge. And then you have these set of, I keep calling them drawers, they're not, they're shelves, set of shelves. They have got the extra bedding on here. If you needed that space, I'd just throw that on the top here. These are fabulous, obviously, for everything that you folded. If you pack in cubes, like we always pack, you get those packing cubes. You can get about 3 packing cubes on here. Just makes it so convenient to put your stuff in. And all our medical stuff, and when I say medical stuff, medical stuff, first aid kits, suntan lotions and everything, because everything's in little cubes and bags, we just throw it in, so we can just pack everything in there, no problem at all. There's the little safe in here. It gives you instructions on how to use it, and it is very easy to use. And I am just going to check. Did somebody leave us a pot of it? No pot of gold left in our safe today, Robert.
Or plastic ducks.
Yeah. So the room is really nicely appointed, beautiful carpet. It was well maintained throughout the whole of our cruise. All the mirrors were spotless, you know what I mean? There's no smears or anything. There was no damage or scuffs or anything that's got wear and tear in this main part of the cabin at all. So let's just go into the ensuite. So this ensuite actually has been particularly well maintained. There was no damage in here. We have been in some where there's been like a few cracks and little bit things that are a little bit wrong with it. This one was really well maintained, and the same thing. It's been kept very, very clean when we came in. It's the one thing I would say that it lets it down, I think, is the en-suites and probably the toilet facilities in general around the ship have aged the quickest. So this does have a look of kind of starting to look a bit tired and a little bit old-fashioned, but it is clean, and everything's in working order is what we'd say. So the shower it isn't on one of those poles, but you can adjust it. So if you're quite tall, you would still be able to get your shampoo and be able to wash your hair and everything by adjusting that. It has got the little pull-out line here if you want to hang up things like your costumes, or if you just want to rinse through some underwear if you're trying to save on packing and not bring too much. That just pulls out. We found that the water flow and the water temperature in here was excellent. Got a really good temperature. They do have the shampoo and body wash on here. It's hard to tell that there's really a difference in the products, but they do smell slightly different, so I think they might be different. Very, very mild, almost like a baby wash, so suitable for just a short weekend. Again, if you want to save on packing. Not a very big shower. It does have the horrible curtains that we don't like. I don't think anybody likes these because they stick to your body. They've got weights on the bottom to try and hold them down, but of course once you start with the shower, they're flapping all over the place, stick to your skin, that nobody likes. Better just to tuck them out the way like that when you have your shower. We found that the room doesn't get particularly wet and doesn't flood the floor. It's fine just to do that. You will be provided with 2 bath towels. So the towels we got here, it's a little bit of a mixed bag, I'd say, on the towels. So they're all about this size, which isn't bad. It's not bad for it to get dried. These were quite thin on the ones that we had, but I did notice on the trolleys, I have a good nose on the trolleys on the different levels where we are, and there were thicker ones, better ones. These were adequate. They're not threadbare or anything, but they're certainly not they're fluffy towels by any means, but they did the job, as I say, and they're not like old looking, they're just quite thin. And you can ask for more if you want them for your hair or you just want extra towels. And then they will give you the hand towel. What you don't get any more, so that's sort of the hand towel. That's really is all it is. You don't get the sort of the flannel towels anymore, and I don't think you can even request those. I just haven't seen any. Again, had a good nose on the trolleys and couldn't find any. They do ask that you save the environment by not always just leaving your towels on the floor if you don't need them replacing. So that's the signal in kind of hotel land and cruise land now, is if you put your towels back on the rails, they will be left like that. The cabin attendants will not change them out. The signal to change them out at any time is to leave them on the floor. It goes against the grain that you've been brought up on, that all the towels need to go back on the rails, but that's just the way it is. And then they will just scoop the lot up and replace them for you. But we didn't get an automatic turn down service in here, but our cabin attendant did come each evening, knock on the door and asked if we wanted anything. So if we wanted our towels replacing or whatever. And so we would ask for that. But other people that we know on board this cruise this time said that they got the automatic turn down service. So it seems to be depending on what your cabin attendant is sort of what they're offering, or whether they're just going to do it automatically. But it seems that they will do a turn down service for you if asked. The sink here, this all worked okay. The plug worked here. Robert loves this one because it's nice and deep. He can get a good shave in here, and there's also a shaving point there. They're only tiny, these shelves, but they were enough kind of just to put a few items on. And there's a big shelf underneath here. And again, because we have stuff in cubes and bags, that was adequate. And there was no leaks or anything like that under the sink, so we were good to go with that one. Sometimes you get a few drips and your stuff gets a bit wet. They've got these great hangers on the back of the door, so if you have the hangy up toiletry bags, they're great for that. Or again, you know, if you've got your robes or something like that that you've decided to bring, if you're going to the spa area, you might bring your own robes. And the lighting in there was pretty good. Aircon was pretty good. It's actually, the aircon was icy cold throughout the ship on some days. It was really, really good because we've had some very hot weather. You can see we've got ours down onto the lowest. That suited us for the whole of our trip. We were very, very comfortable in here with the aircon. And we found that the room wasn't dusty or anything like that, so we could have the aircon on full whack. It's pleasant. It's got it feels clean, it looks clean, plenty of mirrors all round. So we were really happy in this room. The facilities are adequate, nice and big. This is kind of I guess you'd say they're sort of 3-star. They're like 3-star kind of rooms, maybe 3.5. They are getting a little bit old, but as I say, there was nothing in here that was had wear and tear or looked scuffed or anything, so it was really quite pleasant to be in. Just the bathrooms, I'd say, looking a little bit tired now.
So that is our review of cabin 8407. It's on deck 8 on the Carnival Encounter. If you've liked this video, please hit like, please hit subscribe, and hit the notification button if you want to see more of our videos. In the meantime, thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.
However, carry on watching because I've forgotten to do the bed test. Actually, the bed was really comfortable and the linen was really nice on it, but I'm going to do the bed test just to prove it. So move over, my fat friend, because I need all the space to do my bed test. Here goes. Oh, do you know, they are so firm. They are so comfortable, these beds. If you like a firm bed, you're in for a treat. You can ask for a topper if you want it a little bit softer. But for us, we roll into bed and we are out like that. Lovely big soft pillows as well.
I thought you were talking to me when you were talking about your fat friend. Anyway, it was only the penguin.
Oh.
All right, this really is it. Bye for now.
Bye.